But with that, let's
Gotcha.
get into the making picks segment here. We're talking Cleveland Browns versus your New York Giants.
All right.
Why don't you go into how to play the game?
Yeah, sure. So hopefully, we'll be diving into a second, making a couple of picks here. But anybody who wants to follow along with us over here, www.statementgames.com. If you're more of an app person, you can actually find this in the Google Play or Apple App Store. Statement Games Fantasy Sports. The game that we're actually playing is very straightforward and simple. It's free to play. We're going to present you with a list of anywhere between, I think this week it's about 55 different props as it relates to the new Cleveland Browns versus New York Giants Sunday night, kind of like a football game here. You're going to go through the list. You're going to pick 10 prop picks, rank them in order of confidence from 10 through 1. As that football game plays out, if your number 10 pick becomes correct, you get 10 points. If 9 through 1 are incorrect, well, have a total of 10 points. You'll play in a league of anywhere between 8 to 12 people. The person with the most points from correct picks wins. This week we got the IDP kind of guys sponsor. There's an additional 1,000 coins on the line to the tournament winner if you're a VIP member, which basically kind of gets you any type of Christmas T-shirt or hat. And we're focusing on Fanatics this week here. So you take those coins and exchange them for a cash gift card. The recommendation that we're making this week here is for Fanatics, but truth be told, you can use these things for whatever you want. So whether it's NFL Shop, Amazon, Nike, Under Armour, Domino's, Chili's, use the coins for whatever type of cash prize or experience that your little heart desires.
Nice.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say for this week, Cleveland Browns are actually playing. I mean, when's the last time you actually heard or said this? The Cleveland Browns are playing their second consecutive primetime game in a row.
Yeah,
So
it's
last
pretty
week
amazing.
was Monday night. This week they're kind of playing Sunday night here. Um,
Flex there too. So NFL
Flex there,
chose to do
flex,
that.
yeah, flex this year, which I'm sure Jerry Jones can't be too happy with it because I believe, yeah, the original game slated for it was the Cowboys 49ers game, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And it was flexed in favor of the Browns and the Giants. Well, and it figures at the time because the Browns and the Giants were on a little bit of a winning streak. Giants had won 4 out of the last kind of 5 games prior to last week here. The Browns were on a 4-game kind of winning streak. Unfortunately, both teams are actually coming off of a loss. Browns need to kind of let's just say they have 2 very winnable games coming up here. This week against the Giants, next week against the Jets. Hopefully that on their case here gives them a little bit of a breathing room here, and where that game against Pittsburgh becomes less significant, especially considering that Pittsburgh might be trying to battle for some type of number 1 seed throughout kind of the playoffs and kind of get that bye, which they're now kind of on the outside spot, looking in. But it's an interesting kind of game. Obviously, the Giants, they're still in the thick of things. We were talking about this before here. If they can find a way to win either this week or next week, which would be a lot tougher, in my opinion, considering that they're playing kind of in Baltimore, that can actually lead up to a very interesting last game of the season, and where they can actually be playing for the division in Week
Mm-hmm.
17 against kind of the Cowboys. So it's an interesting game, no matter how you kind of look at it here. This Sunday night kind of football game. So that's
Yeah.
it should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it as a Giant fan. Little concerned about who the quarterback is actually going to be, but we'll get into that in a second here. But hey, that's my little overview leading into Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and so this contest is sponsored by IDP Guys. They're your number 1 source for non-standard fantasy football. Play the contest and visit idpguys.org and step up your fantasy game.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Was there one more
No, go.
thing that I was going to say? Look, I'm on kind of a little bit of a losing streak. I'm getting some heckles, some fun, polite heckles from a couple of our, I guess, more loyal users of the Statement Games kind of platform. I understand that people are expecting more out of my picking capabilities. But just remember one thing. When you're going to start taking shots at me, as well as my Statement Games picks, you're not only messing with me, you're messing with... That's right. A little bit of a build-up.
Nice. There we go.
I got to get some revenge here because, man, 1 for 3 a couple weeks in a row here. My own fucking game, and I suck.
I'm just glad that I haven't had a repeat from that.
I'm sick and I suck. That's what I'm going to blame this shit on. COVID is fucking with my mind. I can't think straight. Man, all right. Let's see kind of like what we got going on here.
All right.
Who's kicking off here? You want me to start, or are you going to start?
You go for it. Give us your first one.
All right. Look, from a game perspective here, of course, I'm rooting for the Giants, and the only way that I feel that they're going to have a realistic opportunity to win this game here is that, you know, the less points, the better. This can't necessarily be a shootout. The Giants simply just don't have the firepower here. As a unit, the team is playing, you know, a lot better. I know that they're missing, I believe it's Bradbury, pretty important corner. That is, I believe he got moved to the COVID list. Was he hurt or get moved to the COVID list? We know that Garrett is actually not playing, or not going to be calling the signals for the Giants offense, kind of like, you know, this week because of COVID. So I think it's kind of like, you know, ironic that you have, you know, Kitchens, you know, now kind of like, you know, calling the offensive plays against kind of like his old team. But no matter how you kind of like, you know, break this down here, the Giants just don't score. They're pretty much either 30th or 31st in pretty much every single offensive category. I believe that they are 30th in terms of points scored in the entire NFL here. Injuries at the quarterback kind of like in a position with the hamstring, and now kind of like, you know, a little bit of a tweaked ankle or ankle sprain, no, how do you want to call it here, but it was pretty apparent, like, you know, last week here about how important Daniel Jones's legs are to him in terms of, you know, managing and playing the position here. I think he's going to kind of like, you know, give it a go, but he'll be on a short leash with McCoy, kind of like, you know, just wait kind of like in the wings, which is a very, I guess, capable quarterback here. But let's be honest, he's not necessarily going to be, you know, Joe Montana coming in and lighten things up here. So in terms of my first pick here, that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like the Giants to compete and potentially win the game here, but I'm taking the Giants under 21.5 points as my first pick.
Gotcha. Yeah. I got to say, it's got to be tough when you have a positive feel for your team, like a positive hope, and then trying to ground that in reality when you're making picks for against them in this game. So I am seeing a blowout, and I'm sorry for it, Mark, but I think that while the Giants, I believe, have, this is one of the good things about their defense, is like a top 4 against the pass, against opposing quarterbacks. I just think that the Browns are still, they've got too many ways of attacking, and that defense isn't going to be able to hold up. So I'm going with the Browns over 25.5 points. And I think that's low. I would probably take them over 32 points, but we'll go with 25.5 because that's what you're offering here.
All right, well, I'll just hack into the system and I'll change it when you're not looking here, because I think you're completely wrong. But whatever, okay. It's your pick. We'll see how it goes from there. I understand your logic. It kind of like, you know, makes sense here. I do not believe that they will go over 30 points here. I don't know if the Giants have given up 30 points at all this year. But we'll have to go ahead and see here. But if you do like the Giants and you're expecting them to kind of like, you know, keep this game close, if not like, you know, win the game outright, you're going to be expecting the offense to have some type of ball control and keep that offensive scoring and firepower of a machine kind of like off the field. And if that's the particular case here, I actually think this number is low kind of like anyway. I'm not exactly sure how well the line will actually do in terms of pass blocking, especially with a limited Daniel Jones or a not as mobile McCoy at the quarterback position here. So if that's the particular case here, I'm going to lock it on Wayne Goldman. I think it's low to begin with here, but I'll take the over 66.5 yards rushing on the part of Wayne Goldman.
Gotcha. That's interesting. Yep. So I'm gonna stick to running backs as well. And I also think this number is a little low, but combined, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, I think that in this game they can get 2 touchdowns. I think it's not beyond the possibility that they both get one. So if this becomes the high-scoring game, the blowout that I think it is, I believe these 2 running backs are going to be involved heavily. So that would be my pick. What do you got for your last one here?
All right. Again, if they're going to compete and win this game here, the running game has to be a very kind of crucial part of the game. Again, some question marks at the starting quarterback position heading into kind of like Sunday night. Regardless of who actually starts, of course you would assume that you're going to get a little bit of a break if it's McCoy. But regardless, I think 242.5 is just too high. So I am going to be taking the New York Giants starting quarterback under 242.5 yards passing for the game. And as of right now, Daniel Jones is the projected quarterback. But it's again, it's the projected. You're getting whoever kind of like starts that game. But if this game is a passing game and a shootout from that kind of like a perspective here, the Giants have some. They're going to have some problems. I don't think that's the type of a game that can actually win. So if I'm playing on a theme that the Giants can actually win this game here, I don't think it can be done passing the ball extensively. So give me the under 242.5.
Gotcha. All right. And just to stay on brand, I want to make sure and get a defensive pick in here, being that I am part of the IDP guys. And I also really like the Browns defensive line. Myles Garrett is a man. He is a big man. And I think that whoever is behind that Giants offensive line is going to have some trouble. So I'm going with Browns defense over 2.5 sacks. And I think you had said that the last game they had like 5 or 6 sacks.
Yeah, it was bad. Giants' offensive line did not play well. And look, it's part of. Hey, if Daniel Jones can't run the ball or at least use his speed to avoid sacks, when considering that the line is still young and progressing along here, it could be a very long game if they cannot get the ball out quickly, can't run the ball efficiently, and that's it's just not the type of game that they can kind of get involved with.
Yeah, they're going to have to really bear down on the quarterback, Baker Mayfield, there, and make sure that he's not making those long throws, just to keep them in it, so that they can focus on the run games. Because if it becomes defensive and running back heavy, you're right. Giants have a possibility to stay in it, but Baker Mayfield, what was it last week? He made the longest pass in NFL history. I don't know if he completed it, but he threw the ball the farthest or something. I don't know. There was some headline I saw about that. So if he's able to, maybe bring back old OBJ, catch a nice one-hander.
Would have been nice to see him play against his old team, but hey, maybe some other year.
Yeah. But all right, with that, make sure and follow @StatementGames on all social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. and play statement games.
Get your picks in, 10 picks, hit save here. And when you make your 10 picks here, you do have an opportunity to refer a couple of your friends and family members to play the game along with you. It's a great way to have some peer-to-peer or family fun with a different form of fantasy sports. Hoping everybody can check it out here. Collect those coins, build up that bank account, and when you are ready, exchange those things for some cash rewards. We're getting towards the end of the year. There's still a few $1,000s worth of cash gift cards that we want to give away prior to the start of 2021. So get your picks in, hit save, refer some friends, and build up that bank account.
Nice. Alrighty, Mark. See you next week.
Catch you next week, man. Talk to you soon.